Fan games are a staple in the FNAF community, so much so they have an official outlet created by Scott Cawthon himself. Some of these fan games have been in development for ages, and so many that are already out are amazing. But unfortunately, not all of these amazing fan games make it to release day. These are 3 FNAF fan games that got cancelled, much to my dismay, because I was the most hyped for these, and I don't think they'll ever see the light of day. Kind of. I'll explain when we get there. If you want to see some fan games that weren't cancelled, hit like and get subscribed because I've been playing a few fan games, and I've made videos on my top 5 upcoming FNAF fan games, and I just tend to talk about them a lot on the channel. But anyway, starting off with a less serious one, LEGO FNAF 2. I very seriously wanted this to come out. I loved LEGO FNAF 1, even played it for the channel when it came out, and it was also pretty high up in my first FNAF fan game list. And it was ranked high for a good reason. It was an amazing game. I think the community was interesting, but the game turned out great, and so many of us were so excited for LEGO FNAF 2. The first game had all the greatness of FNAF 1 with all the charm of a LEGO game, including the LEGO humor, the look and the game environments, even the animatronics. I think this is one of the only times I've seen such low detail models of Freddy and friends that still looked amazing. And this would have just been a big step up. FNAF 2 is one of the highest regarded FNAF games, and seeing it fully LEGO themed would have been amazing. Actually, wait, hold on. I have this guy right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Editing me, please zoom in. I'm a big fan of LEGO. I have that. I also have a LEGO Foxy over there. There we go. And a bunch of other LEGO figures. And a big old collection off to the side over there that I haven't put up yet because that's gonna take a really long time. But like I said, the first LEGO FNAF did so good. I loved all the little things you could buy to help you throughout the night. Just the vibe in general was great. If FNAF 2 would have looked so good. I'm here on the Game Jolt page, and look at the vibe of this. It looks so cool. LEGO marionette putting on Golden Freddy's head. Mine doesn't have a purple hat. That's okay. That purple hat is kind of an off and on thing, I feel like, in the FNAF games. This looks so good, and honestly, I would love to have this set in real life, and I kind of wonder if that's even possible. I wonder if I could buy a set of this, because I think that would be super cool. And it's things like this that really bring that LEGO humor out, like things like having a little paper taped onto Bonnie's face. But if the game was so good and a sequel was on the way, why did it get cancelled, I hear you asking? Well, unfortunately, they got taken down by LEGO for making money off of their products. As a fan game, one of the biggest things to remember to avoid being cancelled is you can't make any money. And the devs weren't, but Scott Cawthon was. See, some of these fan games are built on the original FNAF code, I think. So as a player, you're required to both own and have installed the FNAF game that it's building on top of. At least I think that's how it works. I think the idea is cool and it helps support Scott. Not that he super needs it, I guess, but I get it. But in this case, it inadvertently gave Scott money from a LEGO product. And this is such a sad way for an amazing fan game to get taken down. I do wonder if it's possible to just remake the game without any of the original FNAF code so that you wouldn't need to have it installed, and then no one would make any money from anything. I have no idea, but I can dream. And the next unfortunately cancelled fan game is Fazbear Tycoon. I also made a few videos about this, and the premise seemed really interesting. My take on the game was that it was a bit like SCP mixed with FNAF. And if you don't know what SCP is, it's this thing that is impossible to explain fully in this video because I just simply don't have enough time. But it's basically about this organization that finds and contains these weird paranormal or sci-fi objects and entities. And the premise of this game seemed to follow a similar organization that hunted down rogue animatronics. I thought this was awesome, and it mixed 2 of my favorite genres, I guess you could say. And although I don't like typically infringing on original FNAF canon, I think the idea of a hidden organization that kind of rivals Afton Robotics and Fazbear Entertainment is super interesting. And one of my favorite parts, the lore was laid out for us in their archive. I'll have that linked down in the description below. They did such a good job of laying out the entire lore, some previous incidents that have been going on in this whole Fazbear Tycoon universe. They even went as far as to retcon Lefty as one of their inventions to capture the puppet, and I think that's super cool. I think it's just different enough to be very interesting, but not super crazy to the point that it's kind of too weird to follow. And the models look absolutely amazing. I don't see this super often where they have this level of detail in the fur textures and everything. It's super good, and honestly some of the best FNAF models I've ever seen. But because we haven't really seen much gameplay, the storytelling is what really hits home for me. I super love the topic, the concept, and they did an amazing job with things like this. What the f? That's terrifying. Someone's skin was completely removed and it found their shredded degloved skin in the garbage alongside someone else's remains. What the f? And I was so excited to see more, but unfortunately, it was cancelled. This fan game, like the others, seemed like it was building up quite a lot of hype, so why did it get cancelled? Well, if we jump over to the Game Jolt page, we see that their project director and primary modeler has been gone for over 7 months, and the rest of the team decided, we gotta cancel the game. They do say if their project director, Undead Army, ends up coming back, they might pick it back up, but there's no guarantees, and that's just such a shame. I'm very curious to know what happened, because this seemed like it was a really cool project that was doing really well. But of course, we don't know all the behind the scenes, so I'm not too sure. This super sucks, and hopefully we get more fan games like this in the future. All right, last but not least, Five Nights at Freddy's Plus. I want to start off by saying yes, FNAF Plus is a fan game in my eyes and on a lot of people's eyes. I feel like I have to say that because I got a lot of crap for it in previous videos, but it is a game made by someone other than the official developers, and it was part of the Fanverse initiative. So I won't go over everything that happened leading to the game being cancelled, but I did talk about it briefly in my last FNAF Plus video, where I explained that it was cancelled, and I'll have that linked down in the description below and in a card somewhere. But FNAF Plus was going to be a remake slash remaster of FNAF. The developer wasn't a huge fan of the direction the recent Five Nights at Freddy's games have been going in, so he wanted to kind of make his own thing and do his own retelling, I suppose. And that's what originally got me hooked on this game, and honestly what led to the channel being where it is. And once I saw the visuals and the teasers and stuff, I and a lot of other old FNAF fans were obsessed. Like, this game actually got so big that people thought that the animatronics from it were the originals. It was that whole, the Mandela effect, that's right. It was a whole Mandela effect situation where some people really believed those were just the originals. As someone who's been a huge fan of FNAF, I don't know how that happens, but that's how big the game got. So like I said, I'm not going to talk about everything that led to it getting cancelled, but it looked amazing. It looked like it was going to be a really cool game, a really good game. The storytelling seemed like it was going to be very interesting, and just the whole vibe. It had the like FNAF VHS vibe, but not too much because some of them get a little extreme, but it wasn't like not scary either. It was just a perfect blend. It was looking really good. And it was the FNAF fan game that I and a lot of other people were the most hyped for. But I don't really think there's a chance this is going to see the light of day. Kind of. This is where I'm going to explain. So since even before FNAF Plus got cancelled, there have been fan games made for this fan game. I even played one of them for the channel. It was an early version from the same person, Lost Paul Plays, and I thought it was fun. It had a lot of potential. It was like super repetitive, but it was interesting and kind of funny to see someone just get tired of waiting and decide to make it themselves. And recently there was a new update that came out that everybody was playing, but unfortunately that game got cancelled as well. But not cancelled. It was like social media cancelled. Sadly, they used AI to recreate Scott Cawthon's voice for the phone guy lines, and Scott didn't really approve of that, which I totally understand. I think using someone's voice without their permission is way out of line, but it's a bit of a shame because the gameplay looked kind of fun. And I have no idea if they're going to pick the project back up, maybe take his voice out. I don't know if they even know that Scott disapproved of it. But if they can get some kind of approval from Scott, that would be amazing. And I would be on board with them continuing to make the game, unless there's some other weird controversy that I'm missing. It seems interesting. And this is kind of becoming something that I talk about a lot, but I like when things just get remade, when something bad happens. Movies, anything like that. If a movie does poorly, I'm okay with like a soft reboot if they just remake it again. They try to do it better this time and stick true to what the fans want. It really sucks that these fan games got canceled and a lot of really good ones end up being canceled, but there are also a lot of them that still get released and don't get the popularity that they deserve. And if you know of any FNAF fan games like that, let me know down in the comments below, because I'd love to play them. I've kind of been following the same FNAF fan games for a few months now, and I haven't really been branching out to look at other ones, so I'd be open to playing a few or reviewing them or anything like that. And if they're not out yet, I'd love to stick them in an upcoming FNAF fan games video. But yeah, that's gonna be just about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.